What's up, everybody?
My name is Anthony Irvin.
You beat yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah, CB myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Jim Green.
Don't even need a hit of traffic light.
Okay, good.
Welcome to
One set.
Have you ever wanted to start your podcast but didn't know where to start? The One Set Bros are here to talk to you about Zencastr. Zencastr is the ultimate-based podcasting solution and now the all-in-one podcasting platform, making podcasting easy. They've sure made it easy for us to be able to record our podcast and our episodes every week for you guys. Once you've set up your account, you're simply one click away from recording a high-quality podcast with studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. My personal favorite feature is their multi-layered backups, which ensure our recordings are always in the highest quality, even during unstable web connections. And if you thought you needed multiple tools and services for your podcast, Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform allows you to create your podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code OneSetPod, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences we do with all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
What's up, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to another episode of the One Set Podcast. I'm Jim Green, along with my co-host, my best friend, Anthony Irvin. What is going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another episode. How's everybody doing? It's been a crazy week, but I do got to stop and say we are at the midnight of the beginning of this recording, and it is officially my best friend's birthday. So happy birthday, Jim. Hope another year goes by and, good, healthy wishes for you, buddy.
Thank you, good sir. I appreciate that. Got my little birthday balloon going on here.
There you go.
Yeah, I got in from work and just it being on a weekday, Cheyenne and I work in opposite schedules. She had a couple things laid out. Her mom had a package delivered for me.
Awesome.
It wasn't supposed to come in for another week or two, and it wound up getting here way quicker. She wanted me to open it last night because she was excited. I was like, I want to open it on my birthday. Like, I want, I like the wait on that kind of stuff. Really neat. We were up at our cabin back in July and just doing some light shopping kind of thing. And I think we were in, it was like a TJ Maxx maybe, or stores along those lines. And she found an Eagles doormat for our front door for our apartment. So she picked us up that Eagles doormat back in July before the season had started. So of course, we wound up watching the Super Bowl at her mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom got me the candle that said "Smells like an Eagles win." Like, I was like, "You brought us good juju."
Right.
So I opened up the box that was delivered from Cheyenne's mom, and it is a Phillies doormat.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. We've got some pretty exciting news coming our way that we will share publicly once everything is settled in on. Anth, I haven't even told you about that yet. So looking forward to that one. Also, along with the balloon, I've been on a good eating kick, and I started back to the gym finally, and I'm feeling so much better.
Yeah, man.
But of course, the balloon is attached to this right here.
Weasties. Yeah, I think everybody's at like their point where they're starting to get into their health kicks. I think especially with this week we started feeling a little bit more of the warmer weather. So it's a reminder like, okay,
Just a,
spring and summer are right around the corner.
an
Gotta
absolute
start,
tease, bro. An
gotta
absolute
start
tease.
toning up. So even me, like I've been trying to get this post-pandemic, two-time father dad bod weight off of me that I've been just rolling around for the last like 4 or 5 years. So I'm trying to just tone up a little bit for this summer. And it's been going good so far. I like I was telling you off air, I just started tracking this week some of my meals, because the first 2 weeks I was just trying to eyeball some things and just kind of see, if I take this away, if I take that away, how will everything go. And I lost a little bit, but then I gained it back, and it wasn't really consistently dropping anything. So I'm starting to see the numbers go down, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better here and there. Starting to get actually a little bit more energy too. So I've noticed that here and there. So I'm going to stick with this. And then hopefully once my work schedule turns into my shifts and I'll be working, my 4 and 3 days on and off, I'll be able to start going back into the gym on my off days as well. So that'll be nice. And, it'll be something to really spark up, because at that point, I'm sure just doing, the food intake, you'll hit a plateau and you'll need something of like some type of other activity. So I'll either be putting in time at the gym, or by that time, March, April, May, we'll definitely be getting into some warmer weather. So we'll be doing some walks here and there, be able to play with the kids outside again. And, we'll have a lot more light. So, after work and everything, you'll be able to actually go outside and play with the kids here and there. So you'll be moving around a lot more. So putting those in the details too. So
All signs
getting ready.
all signs are pointing in the right direction as far as the health kicks are concerned. And
yeah,
one of the other things, I told you I was going to save it from when we were recording.
right.
Cheyenne mentioned there's a new flavor of Liquid Death out.
Ah,
It is the Dr. Death Liquid Death. It's this guy right here. And people online have been saying it tastes like Dr. Pepper. And I got to try it. Dude,
spot on.
Okay. You're not getting the direct Dr. Pepper taste from like the sugar and syrup that's in a Dr. Pepper soda.
Right.
It tastes kind of like, a Liquid Death seltzer. It's the aftertaste when it kicks in tastes very close to Dr. Pepper. So
gotcha.
For us, we love Dr. Pepper. So it's like, okay, cool. Well, let's get on these because it'll be the closest thing that we can get and significantly better for us.
Right.
So,
yeah, Jen's a diet Dr. Pepper person if she doesn't have like Coke Zero or anything.
Mhm.
But I've never really got into Dr. Pepper. I'll drink it if it's the only thing, but it's not one of my go-tos. But it's always good to find an alternative to things like that. And
what's a go-to soda for you?
I used to be like a Coke person and Pepsi, like straight up, but I can't do straight up Coke anymore. So I'll usually do like Coke Zero or Coke, like it's usually the zeros. And last year I was like on a big Sprite Zero kick.
Yep.
Because it's still soda, but it has that lemon lime flavor to it. So it's like, when you're saying healthy sodas, it's kind of like an oxymoron, but I feel, Sprite isn't as bad, especially if you're getting it in the 0 calorie form. As long as you're still moderate with it, I'll have that if I don't have anything else. Right now I'm just trying to stick away with the juices, stick away with, if we have 0 calorie sodas at the house, I'll stick with those and try to, limit to, if anything, like once every other day here and there. But yeah, I would say, if not Coke Zero, Sprite Zero is definitely cool. But I know Liquid Death had a couple different like things like the ones you were mentioning that are kind of on the spectrum of like, a good alternative to,
They have a
sodas.
they have a lemon lime
Right.
variant.
And I
Yeah,
heard about that. I haven't tried it, but I heard it's pretty good.
it's pretty good. We got a case of that like last summer.
Probably have to test that out. I wonder if it's like a good alternative to like a Sprite Zero or a Sprite.
It's just when we get into like I've been pretty good about just strictly water, not even carbonated waters, which we had been doing, but just being able to filter my system with just regular water.
Yeah.
Definitely a huge help. I got at Walmart, they have the big Vita Coco coconut waters.
Okay.
I used to get them at Wawa all the time, and then Wawa stopped distributing them. Speaking of, there is news out there that Sheets might be opening up in Limerick across the street from a Wawa.
Wow.
So, big stuff there. Speaking of eating healthy.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It always happens like that right when like you're starting to try to eat healthy. Like I sent you guys in the chat today that this dude had like chopped up some pizza crust that was like from pizza that was already made, cut it out, chopped it down in a processor, then used that as like crumb chips, put the regular pizza on that, fried it, then put cheese on top. And I'm like, dude, why wasn't this there when I was actually eating everything in sight? Now it's like that I'm trying to be healthy. Then I see all this like crappy food that tastes, and I know it's going to taste so good. And, they like those people know how to market around this time because they know everybody's like in their, mode of like, oh, we're going to do the whole, gearing up for summer, do the whole, 30-day challenge. Like, no, you're not. You're going to see this like pizza advertisement and this jelly bean thing and Dunkin' Donuts, here we go, like we're gonna bring, and then the Shamrock Shake.
Yep.
By the way, I have always resisted the Shamrock Shake. To this, I have never had a Shamrock Shake because I know I'm gonna like it, so I've never had it. That's the point. I told it to my friend, like I will not try it because I know I'm gonna like it. So I've never had the Shamrock Shake.
You 100% would like it. I tried it years ago. But I feel like in March, it's traditionally, and not even intentionally, just a time where the weather's warming up and I'm like, okay, like just trying to get on the mindset of not, because just coming off of the winter comfort food and just being like, I'm eating whatever I want. Right.
Right.
I just realized I don't think I said thank you, or maybe I did. I don't know. For the birthday wish.
You did. You did.
doesn't feel. I think because I'm feeling better, I don't feel 38. I actually feel like 35 or 36. So, which is good. My biggest thing coming up to my birthday was I wanted to be at least in some sort of routine regimen because I know the next 2 years I want to be like full blown committed to when I get to 40. I want to feel good. I want to feel good about turning 40. I feel good about my birthday this year. I think last year I was just not really about it, not in the best place mentally. This year, a lot different. I've been working on myself. I've been undoing some of my bad habits. So good things are happening, and I'm watching the universe around me. So I'm feeling very, very blessed and grateful. And I'm feeling grateful yet again. And we talk about this all the time. Just for you to be able to spot an hour or two every week to do this with me, for bringing me into the podcast world, Anthony. Thank you so much. And to those that tune in, I mean, we're not a giant podcast.
Absolutely, yeah.
We know how to study the analytics, and we know that there are people viewing from all over the place. So we thank and appreciate all of you, present or along the way, backtracking.
Absolutely.
I just had students tonight that were like, "We caught your podcast." I was like, "It's not made for you,"
Yeah.
but appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, man. And like I said, we always take this as like a weekly journal for us, and you know, the first thing is always like just having fun with it, and you know, the things will always come with it. But yeah, it's crazy what, you know, a year can bring to you, because I know mentally the last couple of years have been tough, but I'm glad to see that you've been on, you know, the road to fixing yourself and kind of getting those bad habits off you, and like learning to, you know, adjust those, making adjustments. So, you know, I'm definitely got to say I'm proud of you for everything that you've gone through, because I know it's been hard, but you know, you're a mentally tough dude. So I got to say that it's good to see that you know, you're on the better path. So
Right. Well,
yeah.
I think it's fair to say I'm mentally tougher now. And I think a lot of before was like letting outside circumstances, things that are mostly out of my control, affect me to the point of just like shutting down and not being able to like bounce back and pick myself up. And I'm like, I'm not getting any younger. Like, I'm trying to just say, okay,
Yeah.
I can't control that stuff, and I need to carry on, and I need to keep my priorities focused and straight. And yeah, I mean, cutting out alcohol has been just big for me.
Right.
Huge. So, liquid death and water and eating healthy and getting in shape and feeling good at my job, feeling good listening to music, and instead of just naturally reacting to it and being like, oh, well, this is who I am, I naturally react to music as a dancer and as an artist. Feeling that spark again is such a warm feeling in here.
That's
it just,
awesome.
everything else is better right now.
Mental clarity, you know, just kind of bringing it back, and you know, just like you said, is you're getting that spark, because you know, now that you have a lot of these things off your shoulders, a lot of those things that were like trying to get in, like the good positive things that we're trying to get in, are now, you know, all around, and you can see those things. So now you're gaining that whole new love for a lot of things back. So, and it's just like I've always said with my music, that, you know, there's always negatives in the world that you can go to, whether it's like politics today, stuff you see on, you know, the internet, that like, oh, this guy said said about this person, and you know, clickbait and all that stuff. But you know, sometimes you just gotta flip off your phone, turn off the TV, and just walk outside, because 9 times out of 10, the stuff you see on the internet, the stuff you hear about on the TV, you go out in the city or the suburbs, 9 times out of 10, people are not what you think that they're being personed on the TV or the internet.
Yep.
So I try to say to a lot of people, don't always believe everything you see on the internet, hear on the internet, and see on the TVs. I mean, take it with a grain of salt, because we live in a world today with that it's all about views and clicks and what's going to get people to view it faster. So they don't care about how you feel. It's more, and the more you can get people to argue and make engagement, no matter how that engagement is being, that's what it is. So
it's turning us into freaking zombies, bro.
Right.
So you are 100% right. Like, just finding ways to dismiss that and say, hey, I'm living in my own skin. I'm waking up and going to sleep every night in my own brain. What do I got to do to have a better quality of life? And sometimes it's absolutely shutting that shit out, right? So
that's the first step to it. Just kind of mentally telling yourself, like, I don't need, and like you said earlier, I can't control this. So there's no point in me trying to continue to waste my time thinking I can control it, you
Mhm.
know, because you know me, like I've always been on the fact that, I try to, worry about the things I can control, and the things I can't, you know, it is what it is. But, you try to, but then you're like, okay, you can't make everybody happy either. So,
The biggest testament to that was you losing your job and you saying, I had my moment. I can't just curl up in a ball and die. And you just,
yeah.
I mean, it was just stunning because I got to really see a lot of you behind the scenes when
Hmm.
all of that was going down. Like outside of living with you, and
Right.
being your immediate family.
Yeah.
It's just watching you navigate that and being like, it's tough, but pushing through. Like that was so just awe inspiring. Like this guy's got kids and lost his job, and look
Yeah.
at you now. Look at you now. I said this will pass, and
Yep.
you're in such a great place now, and you're already looking forward to so many things. You're watching your boys growing up, and they're starting to develop interests that are relevant to your interests, and it's I love it. I love that for you.
Yeah,
I love
man.
I,
Uh, it was definitely tough. I mean, 2024 was definitely a year that I won't forget, but you want to forget it, but just like anything, you learn from it. And, I never would have thought that would happen. You never think like, oh, like when you get into a secure job, like, oh, this is probably going to be something. I didn't never thought that I would be there forever, but like I told you millions of times through it, the fact that I think I needed this to happen in order for me to get out of there, because I would have never left willingly. So it sucks that it had to happen like that. But I've been through a lot with that whole situation. But I can definitely say now that you know everything is kind of calmed down with it. I'm now officially like settled into my new job, and I'm starting to feel like I belong there now, like with knowing a lot more people there and getting myself comfortable with the environment. And even though I'm still a newbie there, I don't feel like it as much. And just learning my ways around the building, because especially I'm dealing with like 3 floors now, and like so many more people, where I was dealing with just 1 floor, and maybe like at the most the amount of time before the whole furlough stuff, it was like 13 to 15 people. So way different aspect of things. But you know it's just, again, it's just been a whole new experience, and I'm just taking it all in to just learn as much as I can with the amount that I've learned from my previous job, but just learning so many things that I can attribute to what I've learned and then add on to that. And uh
and
I just thought
just
when I lost the job, I just thought, yeah, I mean, it sucks. I was definitely emotionally like upset about it, because I was like, how do I tell my wife, who was literally weeks out from having Grayson? And it was to the point where I just had to be like, the next day I'm like, what do I need to do to start getting this train rolling? And my mom was saying like, are you like not even upset about this stuff? I'm like, I have no time to like cry about this now, because I mean, crying about it, being upset, talking about it is all time that I can be like, okay, what do I need to do to start, getting like back on track, setting up unemployment, getting this done, getting that done, like that whole second, third day, just being on the computer, doing what I got to do to like get back on my feet. But it was definitely weird just being the fact that like your last day is today, then the next day you're at home and you're like, okay, this isn't a day off. It's more like, because I'm not going back there. And
Mhm.
I didn't even know if I was going back there. So uh it was an experience. But just like you said, I mean, I'm in a way better spot now, and I definitely got to thank God that it all was. I always think that there's a purpose for it. So there obviously was a purpose for it, and it's just putting me in a better spot to hopefully advance my family forward and me as a person. So yeah, and thank you to my parents, my in-laws, my wife, you, and all my close friends for just being there and keeping me positive oriented to keep my spirits up instead of just always dwelling on it, because you got to talk about those things no matter what situation, but just kind of keeping a positive attitude about it is what kept me going through it. So
I felt like 2025 was going to be a good year. Had a couple of bumps in January, and I was just like, I'm not letting my year get ruined because of these little things here. And
right.
When I say little, some of them weren't that little; they were pretty big stuff. But I'm like, no, eyes on the prize. Keep going. Keep moving forward. There are big things coming up. Personally and in my profession that I am looking forward to. And I'm like,
great.
Best time to just take it and run with it. Super great things coming. Let's talk about what we want to get into today.
This is going to be fun.
We had a great episode last week talking 90s TV show theme, like intro themes. We said last week, let's do another not wrestling one. And then on Friday Night Smackdown, Dwayne Johnson.
He came home.
He came home. And he did what he is now apparently. This seems like it's going to be a trend going forward, where Triple H has things planned for WrestleMania, or so they say, and then The Rock is going to come in and just flip the script. Or are they flipping the script? Because everything that happened last year, and for those of you that maybe don't know about that, you need to go back and watch the WrestleMania 40 documentary. I think it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I think they put it up on their YouTube.
Yeah.
Kind of like flipping the script to see and testing the waters of, okay, where's our audience thinking? And depending if they're on the path that we think, or if not, how do we troubleshoot things? Because it's almost kind of like we're at that point from what The Rock was saying Friday. This could be the same type of situation, but different, obviously, when Cody gave up his spot and gave it to The Rock to face Roman last year, and everybody went haywire to be like, no, we want Cody and Rock, blah, blah, blah. So this could kind of be in the same situation of like, what if Cody, we're in the spot of like Rock is saying, I want your answer by this Saturday at the Elimination Chamber. So it's like, we're at the point right now. What happens if Cody says yes? Do we get like that corporate heel Cody that everybody's been thinking that he might be turning heel? Or does Cody just say no? Then we might be getting, obviously, The Rock, giving him a beat down, and it turns into something what he was doing last year, just beating him down to a pulp, and it starts going off of that. But I think those are the first two scenarios to kind of really go over what happens if whatever Cody's response is. What do you think?
I think that we are living in a time where anything is possible in wrestling, which is why it's so fun.
Awesome.
It's so fun. I mean, for us to be geeking out, talking about endless scenarios, and how many different scenarios did we lay out after that? Like just texting.
Exactly.
And I was like,
I thought you like 2-3 years ago, you couldn't be able to do that. It would just be it was just way too predictable. Like, oh, well, it's probably going this way. And you couldn't really think of like to expand on it. Cause it was like, well, it's kind of written the way they wrote. So you can't really expand it. But now it's like, you can really take so many scenarios from that. And hopefully one of them might be something. 9 times out of 10, sometimes one of those scenarios is right. But it's cool to have multiple scenarios go down and see which one kind of picks out. it's almost like you're gambling on the storylines too. So
Yeah, I feel like they, being Triple H, and clearly The Rock has his hand in on this. The Rock
absolutely.
is on the board of directors for TKO, so he is technically one of Triple H's bosses, right?
Yep.
So
He likes having that power, of course.
yeah,
So he's going to play that to his advantage.
I mean, to be fair, who was the bigger money draw, The Rock or Triple H?
I would probably still think The Rock was definitely more of the draw.
Yeah.
But
I think Triple H just managed.
he was still one of the better ones out there, Triple H and Rock.
Yeah, but
Triple
H was being booked in a way by Vince McMahon because Triple H managed to marry his daughter.
Right. So it helped his career.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bigger draw was obviously The Rock.
So, and now, even nowadays,
Okay.
Triple H being the head of creative has made WWE such a much more enjoyable, better place.
100%.
So The Rock coming in on the board of directors, as much as that probably put a little hurting on Triple H's ego, The Rock knows what's good for business. And he is going to show up whenever he can, whenever he feels like it's necessary. Jey Uso winning the Rumble, not a lot of people were behind it. I know how you and I feel about it. We both think, okay, the Rumble is supposed to be made to build new stars.
Yep.
It's what everybody's been saying all along. And then they pull the trigger on that and people are shitting on it. I'm like...
Yeah, because it could have easily been Cena, and that's what everybody thought. I mean, I think the normal person would have probably put their money on Cena when it comes to like putting in Cena and Jey Uso. I mean, we were hoping Jey Uso, but I mean, I was definitely not thinking he was going to win, but I was like, yeah, it'd be great because then he can hopefully finally, get that championship he deserves. So when he finally took out Cena, I was like, and nobody knew how to react. Like, wait, he just won the Rumble. Like,
I think you and I, like, both sitting there watching together, we were all like, wow, they actually did it. They gave it to an up-and-coming star.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just laying it on a regular one that already has, the spark going, they're giving it to somebody and just now it's like, okay, you won the Rumble. Now it's your turn to show us that you deserve to win that championship. And I think Jay is every week getting better at proving that, he deserves it. And obviously Gunther is, showing that heelish side to him. So it's...
If anything, I feel like Gunther is the one that's having to put in more work to get the audience to not like him. Because as much as he's supposed to be a heel, people love to watch him because he's great. He's one of the best, right?
Yeah.
But I think it also goes without saying, like, we did witness Sami Uso, wow, okay? Sami Zayn beating Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, right? So there's definitely, in our minds, a way for Jey Uso to win that match. I think he definitely has to, right? But I think because of that match, everyone's like, okay, Jey Uso's almost definitely winning, and if Gunther retains, there's no excitement behind it. So then let's turn our focus to Cody Rhodes and the WWE Championship. And we are once again looking like Cena's got to win this, right? And I'm like, I don't think that that's the case. I think Cena in the post-Rumble conference did say, I'm not here to try to take away from any of the, younger talent. This was the Raw on Netflix.
Yeah.
Post conference where that's what he said, and then after the Rumble, he came in and basically said, "I'm going into the Chamber,
and I'm going to win and main event
my last
WrestleMania."
And I'm like, I kind of feel like that's not what's going to happen.
I think he has a better chance because they've been heavily promoting him for the Chamber, but now it's like you got CM Punk and Seth and Cody all in this like, triangle area, and Cena is somewhere in that too. It's kind of like the lone wolf in the way of it because he's not really connected to them, but and you're hoping that he at least gets to the main event to win that 17th championship because everybody wants to see that, but he's just not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm going to be active to try to win that. I think it's more everybody wants to see it, so it's when he gets those opportunities, we know it's gonna either happen or, like I said, I think it really just depends on how, again, it goes back to how this scenario is going to go, whether we're going to be getting a heel Cody or it's going to be going down to once again Cody being an underdog.
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty torn. I feel like Cody's going to say no to The Rock on selling his soul to him.
Mm-hmm.
The Seth Rollins promo on Raw was so good.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard bits and pieces, but I got to go back and listen to the whole thing. But I did hear that it was a good exchange between them two.
It was super well done. Like in this moment right now, I feel like there is a heavy chance that Cody says no and The Rock enters himself into the chamber because there doesn't have to be 6 people in the chamber. There's just 4 pods. Right? And The Rock does whatever he wants. I mean, Cena could come down. It could come down to Cena and CM Punk. And you know how the top of the chamber blinks?
Yep.
Like they're showing who's coming out next.
The different sides of the chamber, yeah.
Yeah, the Simon board.
Yeah.
I feel like The Rock could literally just come out there and he could win the chamber, and we get The Rock and Cody at Mania, and then you have The Rock with the championship beating Cody, and then you have Roman saying, What are you doing? And then we're building this year-long to WrestleMania 42 with Rock and Roman.
That's where I had Roman kind of coming into this. That's if Cody says yes, or Cody can say no, he gets beat down to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roman eventually down the line is getting mad at The Rock for giving Cody all this, stardom power because he promised he was like promising all this stuff, all your wildest dreams will come true. So he does this all for Cody, but then Roman's at the sideline here saying like, what about me? I'm family. You're not even worried about your own family, but you're going to give this guy who took the championship belt off me everything that I wanted. So why? And then that gets to the point where Rock will start probably revealing that, saying almost like, well, you were never the true tribal chief anyway, blah, blah, blah. And this sparks off anything going on with Roman and Rock, which will be awesome.
Yeah.
Because again, you don't need a title for that to happen.
No.
And we've mentioned that millions of times. I'm not even sure now I would want there to be a title because the whole Samoan family like thing is going to be the thing that's going to carry that because they got to put some type of finish on that. So if it's not Jey Uso ending Roman Reigns' career, it has to be Roman Reigns getting the torch passed to him via The Rock, saying that, The Rock losing to Roman and the torch gets passed to Roman as like the leader of the Samoan family going forward, and Rock giving him the props to say like, I was like the head of this thing, but you are the future in a way.
Yeah. I think there's a way less likelihood in The Rock entering himself into the chamber and winning, just on merit. The Cena's winning number 17. I just am sticking to he's going to chase for it all this farewell tour.
Mm-hmm.
And like, to be fair, like, they're all saying, oh, the Rock has been on TV more times than Cena, and he's supposed to be on his farewell tour 2 months in to the year.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be able to elongate that enough throughout the year. So, and you can't think for 1 second they're going to be, putting him out with a bang of some sort instead of just one last match and calling it that. Like, there's going to be something he's going to be either holding a championship belt or having some type of one last match that it's going to have some type of big reality to it instead of just being like, well, this is the last match and then he's gone. There's going to be something riding along with Cena throughout this time that he's, like you said, he's either going to be chasing something or he's going to have it, and people are going to be chasing him to some point. He's going to come in contact with some type of storyline at this point, because I feel he's just, gliding along at this point, but eventually he's going to get stuck into some type of situation, whether it be Cody or something along these like 3 or 4 head main eventers. So
Let's just get to the chamber participants. Who do you think has the highest chance of winning the chamber that isn't Cena?
Right. I'm saying CM Punk.
Yeah, I think so. It's just curious if they're going with that Seth Roman CM Punk triple threat.
Uh-huh.
I actually feel like there are more legs to put CM Punk in the mix with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. The only way to have John Cena and Cody Rhodes one-on-one really build a good story is if Cody Rhodes winds up selling his soul to The Rock and he actually turns full-blown heel.
Right.
Right.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't mind, because we've seen a heel Cody in AEW, and I think WWE he had like a heelish kind of character at one point.
Yeah,
but
he did.
It'll be good to see like a somewhat of a change. But because I feel if you're going to do Cody versus Cena straight off the bat, one-on-one, there's no way you're going to see a heel Cena. So if you need a heel, it's going to have to be Cody.
Yeah, I almost feel like the heel turn, I feel like the Cody heel turn could happen at Mania, kind of like a la Steve Austin turning on The Rock, or not turning on The Rock, but he turned heel aligning with Vince.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania 17.
Yep.
Feels like we could definitely be getting that. You get Cody turning heel at WrestleMania, aligning with The Rock, and then it sets up for Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at SummerSlam, where I feel like Cena would wind up winning it there. Kind of makes sense.
Right.
I really don't want Cena to win Money in the Bank. And I know I messaged that to you. Cena winning Money in the Bank and just saying, I'm cashing in Money in the Bank for my match at SummerSlam. It wastes the cash in. Like, I don't like that. I like someone having the briefcase and carrying it for, like, it makes TV interesting because you never know when it's going to happen.
Right.
Just speaking of Money in the Bank, I don't like. I hate Charlotte on TV right now. I hate that. I feel like she's going to beat Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania, and it's just
100%.
It's going to kill her momentum.
Because it's just too predictable with her now. I mean, I felt there was definitely maybe 1 or 2 other people that could have won the Rumble outside of Charlotte, but I think from what I was saying before, it's like who's going to be stepping up. So it really depends on maybe how Tiff looks with Charlotte. They could pull a swerve and be like, we can give her the rub and, get her to win. Everybody's expecting Charlotte to, but, either it's clean or by disqualification or something. But, we've seen time and time again that WrestleMania season and the road to WrestleMania is unpredictable. So,
yeah. Want to comment on the rest of the card real quick? I think the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens unsanctioned match is going to be just
it's going to be brutal.
A car crash, dude. I'm looking
That's gonna be
forward to it. They're going to be in Toronto, like they're
gonna, forever.
Fight forever, dude. I literally don't even care about their promo work. I'm like, just get me to the match. It's going to be so awesome.
Right. Yep. Get me to the match. Cool.
I think they have Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. It's going to be fun because Trish is from Toronto, right?
Right.
And there's no way Tiffany and Trish aren't winning that match.
Yeah, of course.
I definitely feel like Bianca Belair is winning the women's chamber to face Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, because they've done before in NXT, so that'll be a nice, little run back of that one.
Yeah, I
think Alexa Bliss could possibly win it too.
I would not hate it. It would certainly make for the Wyatt Six to feel important.
Yeah.
Right? Because if the Wyatt Six are involved, Rhea's alone isn't going to know how to deal with it. And we could get Alexa Bliss taking her out. I don't see that being as probable. I mean, they could swerve us all and have Roxanne Perez win it. And
it'd be a long shot if she does, but
I feel like everyone else has other stuff going on. Like, if Bianca does win it, I feel like Jade Cargill is coming into the mix, and maybe Bianca Belair was the one that actually pushed her.
Yeah, I think there's more of the story to that we didn't say, because obviously we had the Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez like being at the scene, but it doesn't show that they were doing something. They were just walking.
By.
So there's obviously more to that. So I think they're going to show as the weeks go on, or like you were saying after that, or just before that match, they're going to show us more of that footage, and it's going to determine that match pretty well.
Did you see the main event from Raw, or did you crash through that?
Did I? That was the women's tag, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I was doing some studio work, but kind of had my phone on the side and muted and going back and forth between looking at it. But I thought it was good to have Liv and Rodriguez win the tag titles, because, and I don't want to go too far off our topic, but it seems like they're obviously going to be moving away from Finn with the Judgment Day, because it seems like he's starting to have like these moments where he might be bringing the Demon back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if he's saying no new members, him as
there's
the Demon,
going to be a new member coming soon.
Him as the Demon might be the new member.
Unless they bring some, now that Liv and Rodriguez have the tag belts,
they could be taking over the Judgment Day, and then Finn could dip out.
Finn could be out, and then they bring in a new member who's going to take out Finn. So we'll see, because they're evolving out of it too. Because the Bloodline, they're doing great work. Jacob Fatu is a beast. So
I freaking love Jacob
giving him
Fatu.
the mic now and giving him a little bit of promo talk with Solo. Not saying that Fatu's the greatest, but he definitely has a little bit of work to do on that front. but I mean, anytime he's in the ring lately, I'm interested to see it. He is a freak of nature.
I think he's my favorite newer guy on the main roster right now. Braun Breaker's not far behind him though. Like, I love watching wrestling when Braun Breaker's in the ring. We are big Penta fans, like, which is weird because like at first I was like, all right, he's going to be fun. His presentation, the way that they have his intro with the pyro work behind him, and his camera work is top tier, dude. It's so good.
It's really good.
It's so good.
I know you're a big fan of it, but I gotta say, like, his finisher is awesome.
It's so good, dude. Penta Driver.
Yeah.
The triple threat on Raw, stellar. The match finish to the women's tag team championship match was one of the first times that I was not expecting the match to be that exciting towards the end, and I was sitting there like, okay, this is actually really good, and I was excited.
Yeah, they had
about
a couple
that.
good spots at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still going to go with Bianca winning the chamber just because I feel like that's the direction that they're going to go.
Yeah, I'll definitely say it's definitely going to be between Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I would just to be different. I'll actually go with Roxanne Perez instead of Alexa Bliss, but I definitely think that Bianca is the higher likelihood to win it. And I'm still going to stick with Cena. I think he's going to win it, but I feel like he's going to lose at Mania because I feel like Cody needs to have one successful Mania title defense after having finally won it last year, and Roman coming off of the 4 years straight with that belt. I don't see Cody dropping the belt at Mania. I would be pretty surprised, but I do think him turning heel is imminent, whether it's at the Chamber or they do it at the Rumble or at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think that's almost definitely happening because his character's just getting stale otherwise.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'd like to see Cena doing a couple things different instead of just coming out the same old John Cena every week. And, because it's going to get boring. Okay, when are you going to get that championship? Blah, blah, blah. Then it's not much of a last minute tournament. It's just like, okay, I'm going to go see these last shows and then I'm out of here. So if they play it the right way, it should be a pretty cool sign off and send off actually for Cena for the year. If they continue to do it the way and write it off pretty well, I'll definitely go with Cena winning the Chamber and then giving CM Punk the second runner up for winning it.
I think so. I think that sounds right. Anth, let's wrap this one up, man.
Yeah. We have some cool stuff coming on this weekend. If you're watching the pay-per-view, let us know. And within that time, hit us up on all your socials at OneSetPod. Hit us up in our Gmail, OneSetPod@gmail.com. Go over to our Patreon, sign up for a tier. We'll be doing some watch-alongs very soon. And if anything, pick up some merch. Support the pod. Thank you all, and newcomers and old OGs. We love you guys. Anything else you want to add, buddy?
Thank you so much. I am going to be enjoying my birthday this weekend.
Yes, one last time. Happy birthday, brother. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you all. All the love to you. Until next time.
See you guys.